Hi peeps, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer, and on my channel I just do my makeup and I chit chat, and some of the topics can include makeup, music, affirmations, relationships, situationships, and sometimes hypnosis. But today our topic is a serial killer. So I wanted to say a little disclaimer before we get started. The following content does contain explicit activity and or vulgar language. So if you are sensitive to that topic and or feel uncomfortable at any moment, please feel free to change the channel and or put me on mute. And if not, we will get started. So first and foremost, I wanted to say super duper thank you to my subscribers and to my viewers. I really appreciate you guys and gals so much. And if you are ready to proceed, let's go. So today's serial killer is a gentleman, and for the state today I chose Alabama. Sweet home Alabama. No, this guy was oh my goodness. I don't even know if I can tell you guys this story, because I was like, is this real or is this fake? This is real. This is totally non-fictional. This is just crazy as fuck. So, breathe. This guy's name is Raymond Eugene Brown. Whoops. So Raymond was born on January 11th, 1946. He was born in Ashland, Alabama. His two parents were Marvin and Emma Lou Brown. Now, Marva and Emma were really good parents to him. In fact, Raymond had a really good childhood. He had a really good growing up. He had 3 siblings. He was active on his football team in high school. And his friends in high school would describe him as a positive, all-around good guy. He was a good friend. He made good grades, and they would describe him in a positive manner. So at the age of 14 years old, Raymond decided that he needed some football cleats. And Raymond didn't have any money for these football cleats. So he decided that he was going to perform a B&E, breaking and entering in his aunt's house while they were asleep. So upon breaking into his aunt's house, his grandmother and his great-grandmother were asleep. So his aunt heard someone breaking into the house, and being the aunt that he had, wanted to know who the fuck was in her house. So she decided to get up and go check who was in her kitchen. So upon finding Raymond in her kitchen, he decided to grab a kitchen knife. Sorry, guys. This is not funny. He decided to grab a kitchen knife and stab her 132 times. And then, to get rid of any witnesses, mind you, this guy is only 14 years old at this time. So this was in 1960, because he was born in 1942. He went to his 63-year-old grandma's room and stabbed her to death. Then he went to his 82-year-old great-grandmother's room and stabbed her to death. And Raymond didn't stop there. So he decided to, instead of just doing a regular stabbing, he took the knife and slit their throats and cut them ear to ear. So the next morning, Raymond's mother discovered the aunt, the grandma, and the great-grandma deceased in that house. She called the police, and no one suspected Raymond because he was like 14 years old. So they did a little research around, and they asked his friends, like, hey guys, where was Raymond at last night after school? And they told him that Raymond was headed over to his aunt's house to try to get some money for these football cleats after soccer practice because he was going to a soccer game that day. And they ended up putting two and two together and got Raymond and charged him with 3 counts of murder. And he served time for these 3 counts of murder, but he was released on parole in 1973. And then they revoked his parole in 1980, between 1980 and 1986, because at that time he attacked his landlady. So Raymond went back to prison until 1987. So the evening of August 9th, 1987, Raymond was at his girlfriend's house, Linda, who was a therapist, and she had 2 children, Aaron and Sheila. Aaron being 6 years old, Sheila being 10. So they had a little relationship going down. They weren't married, they were just living together. He was out, on good behavior. He was doing everything good. He was not, assaulting her. He was being good to the children. And the state of Alabama, made this wrong decision, but they didn't know this was going to happen. So when he was playing cards with Linda, something went awry and he ended up killing Linda. And he didn't just kill Linda. He stabbed Linda several times in her vagina, her pubic area, her skull. He gutted her. He gutted her from her throat all the way down to her pubic area. And then he took a photograph of the deceased body and took the portrait and pinned it to a TV, her TV. Then he proceeded to go into Sheila, the 10-year-old daughter's room. He sexually assaulted her, and then he stabbed her in her chest and he stabbed her in her abdomen, leaving the weapon in her body. So the whole time that this was happening, her 6-year-old son was hiding under his bed in the other room and listening to all of this happen. So at that point in time, Raymond Eugene Brown, being 41 years old at this particular moment, decided to get into the vehicle, her vehicle, and take a ride down to the water and he was just gonna go fucking drinking and fishing down at the water. He ended up running off the road, and the cops got dispatched. And they came to see what the hell was going on, because why was this car ran off the road, in Alabama. This was in Montgomery, Alabama, we're at right now. So all of this did happen in just Alabama. Pulled him over, was like, hey, what's going on? You ran off the road. He's like, he just explained to them that he ran off the road and he just needed to get some things from his trunk, a fishing lure and some groceries, and he was going to go down to the water. So the cop let him go. Well, this is because, unbeknownst to the cop, Linda and Sheila were laying deceased and all full of blood at her house. So he went down to the water. His car got towed, or her car got towed. And little Aaron, the 6-year-old, was contacted by the police because the neighbor, which was 64-year-old, contacted the police because she thought she heard something suspicious. So the cops showed up at Linda's house on August 12th, and the 6-year-old boy came running out from underneath the bed, and he had to tell the cops that his mother and his sister were all bloody in the other room. So this must have been devastating for that 6-year-old boy because of the horrendous, explicit mutilation that Raymond did. I mean, he didn't just like stab and whatever. He went way, way overboard with these killings. And the other research that I got was that, this was over a card game. There wasn't too much in-depth detail on what card game it was, but if it was in Alabama and they were playing cards, I'm almost positive that the card game probably was not Go Fish, and it was not like the Old Mater. This was like a serious card game. And long story short, he ended up getting picked up after, he got caught in the convenience store, walking out of the convenience store, because the gas attendant recognized him, and he saw that he had like blood dripping from his clothes, and he was like, what the fuck is going on there? And the gas station that he got picked up at was in Clay Russell County, Alabama. I think that he ran off that road because he was distraught. So Raymond had not killed since he was 14 years old. And when he was 14 years old, it was just because he needed some money for those football cleats. But when he got older, and then he decided to snap and kill Linda and Sheila, these horrendous crimes, he actually was like fucking going psycho. He was like considered a psychopath. But when he got charged and he was on trial, he pled not guilty, claiming he had amnesia and that he forgot about what happened with those murders. So they did a psychiatric evaluation on him because they're like, fuck, you didn't have amnesia. And he was like, yeah, I did. So when they did the psychiatric evaluation on him, he ended up being sane. And they said that he didn't have any amnesia. I guess he had what they would call organic something. Organic, not amnesia, but the other thing. So, he was sentenced in 1988 to death row, and he was sent to the Holman Correction Facility in Alabama. And in Alabama, that correctional facility, he ended up waiting 20 fucking years on death row. And then Raymond was electrocuted in 2008. Now, a couple thoughts on this story, this real story. We don't know what triggered Raymond. We don't know any of the quotes that he had said, because this was not released. None of the quotes that, there was no interview with Raymond. There was no reason why he did what he did. He did not have the textbook, if you will, background of killing, squirrels, killing any rodents or anything like that. He just snapped one day with his girlfriend, and there was no evidence of him being in poverty. He had friends. He had a lot of friends growing up. Like I said, he had siblings. And his parents were pretty, nice, laid back. So there was really no concrete reason why he did what he did. I do want to say a silent prayer for the families and friends of the victims. And a small prayer for Raymond. I am super duper sad that you actually had to go through any of this. I don't know what was wrong. It's just a sad, sad story, and it's just like, so it sounds so fake, but this is like 100% real. And you just never know. Like, you never know when someone is actually going to snap like that. Like, what the F? So if you guys enjoyed today's story, please follow up with me. I am here for you guys twice a week. On my other day, I just chit chat and I goof off. But on my serial killer days, I do try to be serious. I take this very, very seriously. And I do appreciate you guys super duper much. I really, really do. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to comment in the box below. And I will list all the products that I have used and applied in my video today in the description box. And I will also list the links the links to where I received my information on Raymond today, and as usual in the description box below. Thank you so much. Toodaloo.